Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm very excited to be joined by my friends Jerry Nielson and Charlie Saffro today. Jerry is the founder of TruDiligence with over 30 years of background checking solutions, working with thousands of clients. And Charlie is the founder of CS Recruiting with thousands of placements within the logistics and supply chain industry. And today we're going to be talking about streamlining background checks and the announcement that these two awesome companies have decided to partner in helping clients achieve new things. So Charlie, starting with you, what made you decide to partner with TruDiligence in this area of background checks?
Yeah, it was an easy decision. We have been recruiting in this space about 13 years now, and since we only do direct hire, which means that our client is the employer of any candidates they choose to bring on their team, we are not a hiring company. We're not doing any staffing or contract work. So essentially, our clients really need to do their diligence to make sure that the candidates we bring them are well suited for the role and fit the criteria in accordance to the background check. So we partnered with TruDiligence for several reasons. I think the first and foremost is trust. These are really sensitive topics, and we want to make sure that we feel good putting our clients in the hands of a trusted partner. TruDiligence also has great technology. They make it easy for us, easy for our clients, easy for the candidate, lots of automation, and a very quick turnaround, which can be important given the hiring market. So it was an easy decision, and we're really excited to see what we can do as a partner.
Awesome. Yeah, I've known Jerry for a number of years and TruDiligence, and we love working with them. Great company with lots and lots of years of experience. So, Jerry, for those unfamiliar, can you explain some of the big differences between your business and, say, others?
Yeah, and certainly, Charlie, thank you for the nice words. We always appreciate hearing the good feedback, and you, Andy, as well. So, yeah, you touched on longevity there. I think one of our differentiators is that we will have been in business 30 years this coming December, and so we have a depth of experience over a multitude of industries over that 30 years, and over that time, we have grown with the industry, we've grown with the technology. And as Charlie alluded to, we have a tremendous amount of technology offerings that can really help to streamline the background check process for recruiters and end user employers alike, right? I think the other thing that's important in terms of the trust factor that Charlie mentioned is that we are nationally accredited by the Professional Background Screeners Association. That is a badge that we're very proud of. It is an accreditation that I think about only 10% or less of the background check companies in the country actually hold. And it holds us to very defined standards with regards to our overall operational processing. And so, that credential, I think, is something that's very important to point out. And then I think finally, we really are customer service concentric, and we've got testimonials that could be shared to validate that we in a day of technology, I feel like sometimes the customer service element gets buried in some ways because we do stand behind the technology. And so that is something that we try to pair together, is the ability to create a superior overall user experience using both technology and world-class customer service to back it up.
Right. And I've seen you can scroll through the testimonials on Jerry's website. There are tons of them. And yes, I've seen it firsthand. And Charlie, you and I had podcasted together recently, and you talked about how the job market is always shifting. Can you talk a little bit about the market in the last month or so, say, and what you're seeing out there?
Absolutely. And I'll tie it right back to background checks, because I think that fluctuates, and the urgency goes hand in hand with market conditions. So right now, what we're seeing is that it is very much an employer's market. There is more talent than there are jobs. And in fact, LinkedIn put out a study last week that right now on LinkedIn alone, there are 2 unemployed job seekers for every 1 job description that's posted. So we need to see some more jobs, but In the meantime, what this means is that companies can be pickier. They can really decide that they've got a specific criteria that they want to go after. They know who their ideal candidate looks like, and they're committed to not stopping their search until they find that person. And that's where Jerry's service can definitely come in, is clients have the luxury now of maybe adding that extra step to the process. They also have the luxury of maybe making different decisions because the way the market is. There's a lot of candidates that want that role. So they have every right to run these candidates through whatever background requirements to make sure everything adds up. Now, a year ago, or maybe 15 months ago, during the Great Resignation, there was a different story where there were too many jobs and not enough people. So employers were a little more desperate then. But as it relates to background checks, of course, they still wanted to validate the hire that they were considering bringing on. But the sense of urgency was super important. Candidates were showing up to interviews with 2 other offers in hand. Candidates were maybe contemplating a counter offer. So during that period of time, clients, couldn't take any risks that would slow the process down, which TruDiligence could really support that. They submit an application and they need to extend that offer and do their negotiations as soon as possible so that candidate doesn't get scooped up. So really stressing the urgency, the quick turnaround with these background checks was important in that market. So no matter what the conditions are, we have to adjust, and you just have to know that it's going to flip, and it will flip again. It's just a matter of when.
Right. Absolutely. And in the age we live in, right, there was the Great Resignation, like you talk about. It swings back and forth, it seems like, from what I've seen and heard over the years. So regardless, I feel it's critical to help candidates through that placement process as quickly as we can in the age we live today, right? So, Jerry, can you tell us about some recent experiences and how you've helped clients, kind of move candidates through?
Yeah, for sure. I think that there's maybe 2 sides to that come to mind. I think the first example there is the conversations we have every day with clients that are struggling with exactly what Charlie's talking about. They're trying to get an applicant placed as quickly as possible before that applicant pursues another opportunity, right? And they are still using what I would maybe consider an old school methodology, where they log into a website and they manually compile the applicant's data into some sort of an ordering process and select their searches and submit the orders, and it being a truly manual process for them. And so when we introduce them to our applicant quick invite process that provides the ability to draw the applicant into that process through a link and have the applicant self-enter the information needed to do the background check. And that technology even allows the digital capability of signing any necessary disclosure release forms. It really changes their world, because
Right.
it takes the onus off of the human resources personnel and puts the onus for the data entry and the ordering onto the applicant. And so our feedback on that particular technology offering has just been tremendous, because it does reduce the time to placement by speeding up the entire process, right? The time to order can be significantly reduced by using that kind of technology. I think the second side of that equation is then we have additional conversations on a daily basis with clients that are not aware of the integration capabilities that are out there. And that is something that Charlie and I worked together on with regards to their needs, is the ability for us to integrate our platform into virtually any system that is out there. We have pre-built integrations to many out of the box human resources management systems, and even specifications that allow us to connect it to proprietary or third-party systems, so that we truly can build a bridge that could virtually automate this process. Again, with that goal in mind that Charlie touched on, of shortening that time to placement as much as we can. Background checks are necessary in the world in which we live, and anything that we can do, both Charlie from a placement standpoint and TruDiligence from a background check and onboarding standpoint, anything we can do to help lower that hurdle that has to be crossed, I think is a benefit all the way around.
Absolutely. Yep. People want speed and ease of use, I do. When thinking back in the 90s, we used to fax things and write letters and do all these things. And their initial, the initial days of the internet were like, I'm not going to go online and do that. Now it's like, I would never go back to doing faxes and letters and all of the things I used to do. So it's awesome to see what can be done these days.
Well, and I think one of the keys nowadays is you have to meet the applicants where they live, right?
Mhm.
And where do they live in a mobile world nowadays?
Right.
As we talked, the world has changed, and so the more that we can develop processes that makes it applicant friendly, then the more successful that we will be from a placement process and a background check process.
Absolutely. So for those interested in learning more, I'm including links in the social media post to CS Recruiting LinkedIn page and to the TruDiligence LinkedIn page for this episode. So be sure and check both of these companies out. You're going to love working with them. I want to say thank you again, guys and girls, for coming on the show today with me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy.
Awesome.
Jerry.
Thank you guys so much. It was enjoyable. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that's going to do it for this show today. Thanks again for listening or watching, everybody, and we will see you again soon. Take care, everybody.